Welcome back to Good Day. Have you ever had one of those days where you feel fuzzy, you just can't get it quite together?
Yes. It might not be happening now, but once we get older, we might see some of that. If you know an older adult, or you are one, we have a way to keep your brain active, in shape, ready for, well, almost anything. Patrice Powers-Barker of the OSU Extension is here to explain. Thanks for being here today.
Good morning.
Thank you.
You know, some things just kind of not as sharp as they used to be.
Well, actually, there's some typical human development over the lifespan. So understanding that is what we want people to know. And you're absolutely right. We're going to talk about a program today that's geared towards older adults, but we can talk about memory about any age and some of the healthy things that we can do. So one thing, as you said, as we age, one thing that people might find frustrating, but if you know to expect it, is as we age, our memory is still there, but it might take us longer to recall.
Okay.
So
What
even
was
at
that?
our,
Yeah.
younger age, I mean, we're going to
Yes.
talk about this program. If you're like, oh, it's just kind of at the tip of my tongue or
Yes.
something like that. So
Okay.
that is not unusual. And as we age and get older, it might be longer
Yes.
before that
Yeah.
recollection comes. So we have this program that's called Wits Workout, and it's free. We're offering it at the Oregon Branch Library, and we're meeting once a month. It's on Tuesdays, the second Tuesday of the month. It's called Wits Workout. It's geared towards older adults, 50 and older, but we don't ask anyone's age. It's open to anyone.
Yeah.
And we meet, and there is a theme for the month, and we go through activities to keep the brains engaged.
Yeah. I mean, they say things like what some of those games even,
Like the puzzles.
or solitaire, or
Yeah.
different types of
Sudoku.
Sudoku, things like that. So, what kind of games, what kind of
Yes.
things are we talking about?
So it's called Wits Workout, which sometimes we think exercise,
Right.
physical
We're getting
exercise.
dumbbells.
But nope, we are doing brain exercises. And so it actually, there are worksheets. So we're like, wow, that doesn't sound very interesting. But we're meeting as a group, we're doing these activities. And like you kind of mentioned, there's a variety. So it might be a crossword puzzle or a word search or, a story, and we're picking out certain things. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you like Sudoku, or maybe it's like someone's like, that's not my thing. So we want people to find their thing that we're keeping engaged. And there's a very short lesson then within these activities that we'll talk about some of those things about long-term memory or short-term memory or tips and tricks to just help keep our memory and our brain healthy.
Yes.
And if we're not at that age yet where we're kind of starting to lose our train of thought, are there ways we can strengthen our brain in our teens, 20s, 30s, 40s?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you asked, because I mean, we're teaching our young kids different things, right? And even let's think about whether it's a child in school or, we're on the job, there's things we have to remember. So putting some techniques in place, whether it's using that notepad and writing things down that we know we can come back to, or, even if it's, we want to use technology to our advantage. We don't want to get lost in the scrolling, because then we're not even living and remembering stuff, So being attentive to what we're doing and in the moment. Examples like, have you ever oh, where'd I set my keys down or my sunglasses? Those things, those examples might be if we're not even being attentive and weren't even paying attention, it's hard to remember. So just kind of looking at what some of those stumbling points might be, and maybe some of those techniques to help us.
Just pay attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe focus on one thing at a time. We multitask.
Take a
Sometimes
breather.
that doesn't work to our advantage all the time. I also think this is really cool because the Wits Workout program, being at the library there in Oregon, I feel like this is a great opportunity for older folks to be social too.
Absolutely, yes.
And I imagine that's
and that
a
is
component
one of,
there.
Yes, it is, and even the authors who designed it. And so you're right, we want you to do brain activities and do those things, whether you love the word searches and stuff like that, but coming together. And so that's where, when I say, well, we do worksheets, and that kind of sounds boring, but we're doing this as a group. There's some laughter and enjoyment, and as memories pop up over the themes we're talking about, it's a really enjoyable time, and makes it easier then to act on those healthy habits.
Sure.
What are some of the different themes?
Okay, so this is fun. We've done we did songbirds when you think about the birds migrating.
Yes.
And what's coming up next in June, next week, is it's like around the world. So we'll talk
Okay.
about travel. So the themes are very broad. So even like that songbirds, it might literally be about the birds we see in the sky, or it might be talking about songs.
Okay.
With the different activities and worksheets.
Whichever you like, whichever floats your boat, right?
Right.
Do people need to register for this
Not
program?
for this one, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said it's the first Tuesday?
Or second Tuesday.
Second
Did I say that
Tuesday.
wrong?
No,
And I might
no.
have-
I am apparently
You are
not being
verifying.
attentive.
I might have said the wrong thing.
No,
so
I think
June
you said
9th.
it right.
That's the next
The next
one.
one is June 9th.
Yes.
You see the dates there up on your screen, but of course, if you jot down that website there too, they'll have those dates on there as well. You also on the website have some summer programming too for maybe the younger folks in the family.
Absolutely. So we invite people to go to lucas.osu.edu, and we'll talk about the brain health, but also we want our kids to make those memories to have later in life. So there's some programs that families might want to think about screen time and how that best serves their households. My coworker Jess has things up about summer camp, going away to 4-H summer camp, and there's some opportunities about the fair and families. So
coming up.
That will be coming up. Gardening season is here too. I know OSU Extension has helped us with our Good Day Garden. We planted the spinach that you all brought us in a milk jug, and it took off beautifully. So there's some gardening tips and things like that on the website, all that good stuff too, right?
yeah, because it's all part of our overall health and well-being.
Wellness.
Yeah.
Yes, you got it. All right, but
Yes.
if that's you though, you said Wits Workout. That's for me. Second Tuesday of the month at the library there in Oregon. Thanks for coming today.
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.